This is Ducks Hockey on Fire with Coach P and Henry, your home for Anaheim Ducks fan talk.
The Ducks fall short against the Canucks. Playoff positions are getting tight. And if you want to be a playoff contender, your best players have to be your best players. Hey, Henry, how you doing today?
Good morning, Mike. How are you? Good morning, Ducks fans. Yep, tough loss last night to the Canucks. What do you think of the game?
I thought there were good things, I thought there were bad things, and I thought there were things in between. Probably the most disappointing thing for me is that it took basically 2 periods to get jump-started and raring, and the third period was all Ducks. But I think we let one get away from us.
I think you're right. I think you saw at the beginning of the third period, they came out flying, and they came out ready to go. And you kind of felt like they were going to win and just going to, or push it to overtime or something. But you got to tip your cap to Richard Bachman. He played a heck of a game, and that was his first NHL start since October of 2015, which is quite a stretch between starts in the net. So it's good for him, but like you said, I think for the Ducks, it's not acceptable to lose to a team like that, and especially this stage of the year.
Well, interestingly enough, I think Vancouver did a few things to change things up a little bit for themselves. In some years past, their GM has been questioned, and some of his moves, or I guess more lack of moves, and the trade deadline, probably some of the biggest moves, at least in my mind, were made on their end. Especially getting rid of a player like Alex Burrows. And that's just kind of maybe a little bit of a retool for them and a move to maybe change things up in Vancouver. And I thought obviously they beat the Kings, and now they've beaten the Ducks, and they're going to go home, and they got themselves off to a little bit of a roll here, and they can start moving forward. I don't know where that actually is going to put them here going down the stretch, but at least for me, I see a team there that you cannot not think about or not put your best effort on the ice. And the Ducks are going to have to take a look at that approach if they're going to be a playoff contender. If not, then keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah. Brian Hayward said it last night during the commentary, and he mentioned the Burrows trade and also the Yannick Hansen trade.
Yep.
At the deadline, and I think the Canucks kind of just showed that perhaps they're going into sort of a full rebuild mode here, and it's tough to say that when you have players like Sedin's on the team that are still producing at a pretty good level. They're not elite anymore, but they're world-class players. And it's good that they still have some bite left in them, but the Ducks can take a page out of their book for sure and learn how to push the game early, especially on the road. I know the Ducks have some home advantage the rest of the way here, but those road games are going to be crucial. And for Vancouver to come into LA and Anaheim, and they went up 4-0 on LA and barely hung on to win, but they came into the Ducks building, went up 2-0. So 2 big teams, they got 4 points out of their building. So
pretty huge for them, no doubt. But I have to mention again the play of Bachman and then the play of Bo Horvat, who I feel was the difference maker in the game. He did a lot of things out there. A young player, thick, 220 pounds of go-get-it style of hockey, and I think he may be the new leader for the Canucks moving forward.
Yep, I think they're trying to build around him. He's a franchise kind of center guy that you didn't really think would be at first. They brought him in. He's an immediate impact player in the NHL, but as he's growing, he's a centerman that can step up and sort of fill the role that maybe Kessler played in Vancouver for a while. He's a really good player with a nose for the net and just a great all-around game. So I think one positive from the Ducks last night was Patrick Eves' goal. I thought that was a beautiful play and a heck of a finish by him. So it's great to see him get another goal, and this time, one past the goalie.
Yep, little too late, though. So let's go back and scores from last night around the NHL. The Wild beat the Sharks in a big game in Minnesota. Flames beat the Islanders in Calgary. Two big games there that really affect what's going on with the Ducks. Penguins beat the Sabres in an unbelievable comeback. And then the Blue Jackets beat the Devils on the road in New Jersey. The Blues beat the Avalanche 3-0 in Colorado. And then the Hurricanes beat the Coyotes 2-1. Any games there that you like?
I was particularly keen on the Flames game last night. They are red hot again, and they are right on our tails here. We're actually tied in the standings as we wake up this morning, and we have one game in hand over them, and that is the only saving grace right now, is they have more wins than us in the win column. So they would have the tiebreaker at the moment if it weren't for the game. So the Ducks, I don't think it helps to look behind you in the standings. You just got to focus on your own game and play, but for fans, it's definitely worrying to see, this leaderboard start to jam up a bit.
Well, the good news is we're 9 points clear of St. Louis, so that's
Yep.
big for us. But there's no doubt Calgary is coming after us, and we got to be ready for it. And we cannot let a game like Vancouver slip away from us.
That's right. So the standings as they stand now, Pacific Division, Sharks remain at the top with 83 points. The Oilers in second place with 78. The Ducks with 76. The Kings, two points below 70 at 68, so they're still out of the wild card spot here. And you can expect a big push from them to creep up on St. Louis for that last and final wild card spot.
Okay, so let's just take a look at last night's game and go through the scoring line, and then talk about each of the goals. And I'm just going to mention right away that again, Horvat was huge, and he was big on the first goal for Vancouver. The Canucks come out of the neutral zone into the offensive zone on an offensive rush. The puck is past the inside. We have a great defensive play, so the puck goes into the corner. Bo Horvat picks it up, carries it around the back of the net, passes it up to Ben Hutton, and Hutton steps to the middle of the ice and just throws it was a wrister, and it wasn't even very hard, that gets in on net. Bernier tries to gobble it up with his arms instead of catching it with his trapper, and the puck drops on the side as Bo Horvat comes all the way from the top of the circles in, and just has a loose puck there that he just swats at. In fact, Vatanen had body position on him, but Horvat with his size just muscles himself to the rebound and swats it in the back of the net.
Yeah, it was a shame, especially for Bernier. He played pretty well, actually, last night, considering it, and that was the one goal he definitely wants to take back. Actually, to be honest with you, we'll get to it in a minute, but I think both goals.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm waiting for the next one.
Yeah, he does. I think he definitely does need both goals back. But that goal was a little weird, and good for Bo Horvat. He had front net presence, and he took it. So the next play, yeah.
Well, interestingly enough, I just want to talk about this quick, is that Vatanen had body position on him as Horvat came. He comes around the back of the net. He snaps the pass up to Ben Hutton. Hutton starts walking the line as Horvat just turns and makes a V-line for the side of the net, basically. But he's boxed out. Vatanen's got him. He's all over him. He's got body position on him, inside out. And the puck is laying there, and because of Horvat's strength, he just overpowers Vatanen and swats the puck in the back of the net.
Yep. But Bo Horvat is a big guy, so Vatanen, I think you're right. Just got to tie up the stick there and and prevent him from getting inside position there.
Well, I mean, I really think Vodin's got to get to the puck first. You know, he's got to recognize that he's a little outmatched there, and he has to use his hand-eye coordination and his smarts, because he's got great hand-eye coordination and he's very intelligent on the ice. He's got a high hockey IQ, and he needs to be able to get to that puck. And you know, the tough part is that it was a puck that looked as if Bernier had it and had it covered. And
yeah, we all thought he did, I think.
And it falls out to the side, and unfortunately, Horvat was Johnny on the spot and banged it in the back of the net. So the second goal was really, in my mind, kind of a breakdown or push too hard by the Ducks defenseman. Kevin Bieksa takes the puck down the wall. Cam Fowler steps over to the strong side of the play, and Corey Perry fills in for Fowler. So Bieksa tries to drop pass as he's going down the wall to Fowler, and Marcus Granlund gets a stick on it, pops it past Cam Fowler, and is off on a 2-on-1 against Corey Perry, which should never happen. But anyway, he carries the puck all the way through the neutral zone into the offensive zone, and he takes it was a on the ice wrist shot that goes 5-hole on Jonathan Bernier. And I don't know, I have a big problem with this goal because, and listen, I'm not a goaltender coach or goaltender guy by any means, but I know the game well enough that a goalie has to have a stick on the ice, and Bernier's stick was not on the ice, and it went 5-hole, and it was actually one of those that when you look at it, you go, are you kidding me? This is an NHL goaltender. How does that go in the back of the net?
Exactly. It wasn't even a really hard shot either. It was kind of one of those whippy motions, like right along the ice, and Corey Perry's valiant effort to dive about 10 feet to the left of him made no difference at all. So,
well, I thought Perry was in good defensive position. He forced.
He forced the shot.
He forced the shot. Right, there was no pass to be made, which was good on him. But the key is that your goaltender has to do the job too.
Yeah, exactly. That Bernier. So it's tough that the 2 goals he let in were the only 2 bad saves he really could have had all night. But defensively, I thought we played pretty well overall, especially on another 2-on-1 that stuck out to me was Fowler coming back on the back check and picking up his man and beautifully eliminating the pass lane. And this was in the first period, I think. And Bernier comes up and makes a big save. You know, it's all about forcing that shot, putting the pressure on the shooter to make the perfect shot on the goalie.
Well, again, I think that there were a lot of good things that happened out on the ice last night. The problem is in NHL, when you make one, especially this time of year, and especially if you're trying to make a playoff push, 1 mistake, 2 mistake makes a difference. There's no room for error in the NHL. And, of course, there's no room for error against a team that's gaining a little bit of momentum, and the Canucks did that against L.A., and now they did it against us. And, unfortunately, we let one get away from us. So that made it 2-0. And then 6:12 in the third period, Patrick Eaves scores on a pass from Ryan Getzlaf to make it 2-1.
It's a great play. Ryan Getzlaf zipped that puck over. I'm really liking the way Getzlaf's passing the puck at the moment. He's really finding the guys, and it was a great finish by Eaves. But as you said earlier, a little too late.
Well, the interesting thing is that the play really starts in the neutral zone. Bieksa picks off an errant pass in the neutral zone and steps up right into the middle of the ice, crosses the blue line as Getzlaf is crossing as well, and Getzlaf gets up ahead, and Bieksa makes a nice easy little pass to Getzlaf, and there's quite a few Canucks through the middle of the ice, and somehow Getzlaf makes a pass all the way across to Patrick Eves on the backside. In fact, Henrik Sedin gets a stick on it, and it I don't want to say bounces, but finds its way to Patrick Eves, and Eves just one-times it short side into the back of the net, and a beautiful shot. And at least in my estimation, these are some of the kinds of goals that we need to start scoring, where there's a rebound or a missed takeaway, and we have to be there in the right spot to bang the puck in the back of the net. And really, at the end of the day, this is my kind of goal, something like this.
Yeah, and it was so encouraging for me to see Eves scoring a goal like that, like you said, because we've had a tough time finding those sort of goals this year, and it also affirmed to me that this move for Eves may have a huge impact for the Ducks that we haven't really sort of realized yet. I know it's his third game with the Ducks, but he could be that kind of spark plug that everyone sort of looks at and kind of jumps on that momentum train with. I think he can really be a key part of the stretch run here.
My problem with all this, though, and as well as that play was for me, we have 44 shots on net and only one goal. And quite a few of the 44 shots were perimeter shots or easily blockered away or sticked to the corner. I don't know. I have a hard time with that because, if you take a look at NHL scoring, the majority, the high percentage of goals that are being scored are off rebounds within 10 feet of the front of the net. And that means you got to have players going to the net when there are shots. And I'm not seeing that right now. I'm seeing shots from the perimeter and then rebounds that hop onto the opposite team's stick and clear to the side, or a clearing to a winger and then off to the races the other team goes.
Yeah, I think there's been at least 4 or 5 games this year where the Ducks have had 40 or more shots, and I think they've lost most of those games with the more shots, and the trend has been that the shots have been really non-effective shots. So they're one and done, or they're a wrister from the far corner blue line, and it's just easily handled by the goalie, and there's no traffic getting to the net. And as players, we learn it from mites even younger. As soon as you shoot the puck, where are you going? Top of the crease. So I think you need to get back to basics if you're Anaheim in the next game, and follow the puck to the net, because as you said, I think the majority of the goals, especially in today's game, with the speed and the accuracy of these players, and the exceptional goaltending as well, I think he really needs to be there to pounce on the second and third opportunities to get the goals.
And then kind of one last little thing here I want to talk about, and I've enjoyed watching a little bit of the line maneuvering at this point by Randy Carlyle. But at least in my estimation right now, there is no one clear first line for the Ducks right now. If you take a look at Kessler's line, which I like very much, but if you look around the rest of the contending teams around the league, that's a second line on the majority of those teams. And I guess I'm calling Getzlaf and Perry out a little bit here, because those guys need to be our first line. Those are our best players. And right now, Getzlaf is second line and Perry is third line. And this can't happen. They got to find a way to work together. They have to find a way to get back into the limelight and get things done in a first line capacity, because when the Anaheim Ducks step on the ice, that's what the other teams need to see, is Ryan Getzlaf and Corey Perry on the first line, and then their coach worrying about how he's going to handle them tonight.
Yeah, and that's when they've been the best too. Is when they're a tandem and they're red hot and they're going well. I will add though, we do forget how good of a defensive centerman Ryan Getzlaf can be, and that's what Carlisle chose to go with last night against Bo Horvat. For the majority of the night, he had the Getzlaf matchup. So I think there are some situations where the players can adapt, and Getzlaf can be that shutdown guy, and the Silverberg-Kessler line can be the scoring line that we need. I thought they were tremendous last night, the Silverberg-Kessler-Cogliano line, a lot of scoring opportunities. So there are nights when they're going to need to step up, but I agree. I think in the long run, Perry and Getzlaf are two huge leaders on this team. It's their team, pretty much. So, yeah, they really need to step up here going forward and carry this team forward. So I think, I guess with that, we'll look forward to tomorrow. Big game against the Preds.
Yeah, Tuesday night, 7 p.m. at the Honda Center. The likes of Philip Forsberg and James Neal and Mike Fisher come to the Honda Center.
Very excited for this game. The Preds are on a little bit of a roll here with Philip Forsberg on an absolute tear in the last couple games, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. PK Subban, of course, very good defenseman, and we're gonna have to watch out for him on the power play, not take any penalties, and we need these 2 points.
We do need these 2 points, but I will say this: the Nashville Predators will make you earn it. If you want to beat them, you're going to have to outwork them, and you're going to have to also work smart. So not just go out there and work. It's going to be work smart as well. And I'm very much looking forward to the game on Tuesday night. And any closing thoughts, Henry?
Yeah, I think that's right. I think the Ducks need to just get out there and outwork them. I think the Preds are a team. We saw it in the playoff series where they don't have overwhelming skill, but what they do have is one or two guys that can bury the puck when the rest of the team works for the puck to get them in scoring position, and those guys are lethal. So I think it's important for us to come out and get a huge 2 points here and close out this little homestand and go onto the road with a good mindset.
For myself, Coach P, and my co-host Henry, it's a great day for Ducks hockey.
Thanks for listening, Ducks fans. Have a great day.
That's it for this week's edition of Ducks Hockey on Fire. Join us next week as we talk about the latest in Anaheim Ducks hockey.